periodic reminder that treating and preventing obesity actually means trying to conversion therapy fat people into becoming thin people, despite zero evidence this being remotely possible. I'm gonna read that again. Periodic reminder that treating and preventing obesity actually means trying to conversion therapy fat people into becoming thin people, despite zero evidence this is remotely possible. I'm gonna read that one more time. Treating and preventing obesity actually means trying to conversion therapy fat people into becoming thin people, despite zero evidence this is remotely possible. Because in any world, you can sit there and say, hey everybody, I'm fat. I want to work on myself. I want to be thin. I want to be a little bit healthier in my life. And people are supposed to say, in a rational world, hey, good for you. That's great. I'm happy for you. Do your best. Be you. I'm supporting you. But no, we got all the fatties sitting around saying, I'm uncomfortable because you're doing this. I feel offended you're doing this. Oh, celebrity, you're fat. I feel represented by you. But now that you're losing weight, oh my God, I can't live on this world because you are becoming thin and skinnier. Why? Is it because you're ashamed of being fat? Is it because you have health problems? That doesn't matter. You should just be fat for me. And the delusion of this woman and all the supporters who will sit there and say, yeah, I agree. How you doing? That's great. That's amazing. It's completely mind-boggling. This is not worded as to say, hey, force all your fat friends to lose weight. This is worded as if it's by your own choice. If you're treating your obesity, if you right now, obese human being, man, woman, child, if you treat yourself, if you want to get better for yourself, if you don't want to turn out to be a 600-pound butterball of love, you doing that, you fixing that, oh my God, it's conversion therapy. What? How did you get to that point? How did you come up with that? What made you think, yeah, I feel offended. I got all these people not loving me. Oh, what's the reason they're not loving me? Is it because I'm some unattractive ogre who's just mad all the time and bitter and just has to make excuses all day about how I feel and what justifies it, and anyone who disagrees is nothing but a fat phobic hater of me? Or is it because I'm that damn delusional? It must be because everybody's fat phobic. I just like, how does anyone come to these types of conclusions? It can't just be delusion. It has to be self-entitlement, a lack of self-identity, a lack of self-love, and a lack of fucking awareness to say, hey, everybody ain't you. Everybody ain't me. You all can't be the sexiest black YouTuber. You all can't have luxurious hair like the sexy black YouTuber. You can't have a strong chin covered by a beard like the sexiest black YouTuber. And that's no shame. I don't care if you fat, tall, short, skinny, whatever. You all are your own people. All I ask is that you love yourselves. Everything wrong with you is what's wrong with you. If you want to fix it, cool. If you don't, cool. Who the fuck cares? It's your life. But what I cannot stand are the losers, because that's what they are. Losers parading around acting as if they're the hallmark of everything. They know what it means to be everything. And if you change that, oh, you've offended them. You've hurt their pee-wee little feelings because they're too self-entitled, self-indulged, and pathetic to do anything about their own fucking lives. But you know what? I've been a little bit mean-spirited because, as you can see, I'm the sexiest black twig you're ever gonna meet. I have never been chubby. I don't know what it means to have a nice, succulent, big belly. I have only had interactions with BBWs. I have never made love to a BBW. So allow me to call upon someone who is a person of size to educate the young minds on how stupid this dumbass woman is. Oh, Starsan!
I have heard the call. I have heard the summons. You know, there's a word, conviction. Convictions are an important thing. You should have enough conviction in your opinion, in your thoughts, in your words, that challenging them should not be an issue, should not be a problem. And yet, continually, I see in the BOPO movement, I see amongst my fellow fat asses, I see that the same problem continues to occur. You've got Lexi Nimmo, that when someone said to her, guess what? When you are a public figure, you're open to criticism. She equated that to being a stalker and to creating this relationship with a famous person and treating them like they're suddenly your best friend. Not the same thing at all. You've got people like Shit Marissa Says, who I just, I love, who sits there and anytime anyone challenges her or tells her she's wrong on any of the bullshit she spews, she immediately cries, "Victim, I'm getting bullied. Why doesn't anyone want to be nice to me?" Whereas the other side of her mouth, she literally says to anyone thin, "We don't give a shit about you and your insecurities. We don't give a shit about you and what you find wrong." So I find this entire notion hilarious because, once again, I've stated it before. This is marketing, people. That's what this is. The fat asses that don't want to lose weight and don't want to be told that they can lose weight have now had to figure out a new way of telling people to leave them alone. Because you see, they tried to talk about bullying, but even when people were nice about it, now they were starting to say that you're being fat phobic, that you just naturally hate fat people. But that's starting to not work now too, because you got fat asses like me that are calling them out. So now they had to think of a new thing. And I've noticed the new thing is equating being fat to being gay. They're following all the same issues, all the same patterns, all the same tactics that the gay community and LGBT community were using to get their point across. Now there's a fat spectrum instead of just levels of how fat you are. Now we have identifying. What level of fat are you identifying at? There's fat phobia. There's all sorts of beautiful things to just say, hey, stop being fat. And what I get the biggest kick out of, you're sitting there saying that this is like conversion therapy. Conversion therapy was a lot of people against their fucking will, okay? And it was over who they wanted to fuck. If you're going to break it down to the most base level, this is about who they wanted to have sex with, okay? Being overweight is a fucking choice. Your sexual orientation is essentially a birth thing. You either like this or you don't. But whether you want to hear it or not, don't come at me about genetics, don't come at me about the medical, don't come at me about the little teeny tiny sliver, 0.001%. We ain't talking about you. Zip, basta. Who we're talking about are the people like me, who, when you thought you were eating small or you thought you were eating healthy, you still didn't understand what caloric intake was. You didn't understand what you were having. You figured you saw something seemed healthy enough. You thought you were eating it right, and it wasn't. We're talking to the people that slap down 3 Cokes in a day and say, at least I'm drinking something. You people have to understand. It's a choice. No one is sitting here and telling you that you are against your will. Oh, you have to scarf down these things. Even if someone friendly says, hey, I noticed that, you're out of shape lately. You're not able to do certain things. I'm worried about your health. They're screamed as fat phobic. You've got famous people, if they want to lose weight, they're told they're fat phobic. You are told if you go into any store that doesn't carry a 7X, they're fat phobic. Everyone's fat phobic. You get fat phobia. You get fat phobia. Everybody gets fat phobia. But you know what no one gets? Healthy. I don't get it. And I went to because I remember when I saw this, one of my friends tagged me in it and he said, look at this. And then he said, maybe it's satire. And God bless him. What a sweet man. Brent, you're so sweet. Thinking that it might be satire. Nay. You've got this woman over here, just like my lovely nephew stated, all this lovely shit about conversion therapy. But then it went a little further. It went a little further than that. Let's see. Thin queers always get angry when fat liberationists point to the very obvious similarities between diet culture and ex-gay conversion therapy. I still don't see the similarities, by the way. But how would you all even know if it's a reasonable comparison or not? Like you don't remember how lifestyle was used in the 90s? Lifestyle refers to your choices, your diet, and the way that you dress. Being overweight is full of choices, your diet, and how you dress. It's crazy. That is a lifestyle. Being overweight is a lifestyle. It's a choice. It's a choice. There's a book about this. Stop finding inventive ways to say, I don't want to lose weight. If you want to be lazy and fat, fine. Just say that. But stop trying to stop people from losing weight. People are going to have progress. People are going to want to lose weight. People are going to want to be healthy. You've got to deal with that. Stop getting mad at what other people's choices are, because that's what the BOPO movement is turning into. This is all turning into, I don't like that other people aren't doing what I want now. I don't like that they're making progress that I thought I couldn't make. So you know what? I can't just shut down what people say to me. I can't just shut down what people address as me. I now have to shut down everybody. We gotta go after all of them. We want everyone fat. Right there. And this is coming from a 400-pound bitch, okay?
These types of people do this thing where they give these hot takes and they try to make it sound all logical and entertaining and interesting, but every single time they always run into one little problem. They don't expect people to criticize their point. Some people do it in a distasteful fashion. Some people just say, hey, that makes no sense. But that alone will cause these people to feel like they're being personally attacked. No, you just had a really dumb take and people are criticizing you for it. And for some reason, you think no one's allowed to do that on the public social platform that is Twitter. And you know how I know these types of people live in delusion when they spew these hot takes? It's when they face the criticism, they private the Twitter, they delete the tweet, or they just go into hiding, or they say everybody's fat phobic, everybody's an ism, everybody's an is, because you can't grasp people not agreeing with your weird point. You can't grasp everybody, whether if they're fat or skinny, saying, hey, I don't really jive with this. This is not really a good argument. This is not really good for people who actually want to lose weight. Because if you're sitting there and saying this and wording this like that, you make it seem like people should feel bad for wanting to do things for themselves. You see how easy this is? And this person is claiming to be some MPH. I don't know if that's a college degree or if that's just some made up shit. But you word something like this, you want to sound like an intellectual, but you sound utterly dumb. I don't know what your purpose of this tweet is, but I will say it's a very dumb tweet. So the next time you try to speak on behalf of all the fat people and you want to stand up for all your obese brothers and sisters, my one suggestion, my core suggestion, this is for you and for anybody who wants to sound like a hero to any fucking community. How about you ask a bunch of people in the community? Because guess what? You got some fat people, you got some obese people that want to lose weight. What, do they not count? Are they just oppressed? Do they have all this internalized fat phobia in them because they look at themselves and although they love themselves, they want to change themselves for the better for their own image? What about self-image? What about body positivity? Is that all bullshit, or is that all just some neat catchphrase you could say to demonize a bunch of people who don't look like you? I'm wondering a lot, all because of a tweet. And I have to say, the self-entitlement, the delusion, the lack of self-love and awareness and everything under the sun to shame other people for doing something you're not doing is laughable. Thank you, Star Sand, for joining me on this beautiful journey. Go subscribe to her. I may be the sexiest black YouTuber, but she's the sexiest BBW you're ever gonna meet. Subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.